is Hamid of the Milwaukie Arts Committee, the artMOB, here in downtown Milwaukee on July 6th at First Friday. There's all kinds of fun stuff going on. Been hanging out at City Hall with the Rose Villa Art Show. The residents and staff of Rose Villa Senior Living Community has been sharing their work with us, and totally excited to learn how health and longevity is affected by our creative expression. Like, why is that important to be creatively expressing ourselves all through life?
It'll be the fourth Saturday in July.
How is creative expression important to our health and important to our longevity?
Well, it's everything. I mean, it keeps your mind growing, so that I think it might hold off dementia. You know, both of my parents had dementia, so keeping active and keeping your creative juices going is really important. And Roseville is a perfect place for that. There's so much, as you can tell, so much going on with such vibrant and artistic people.
How do you like to creatively express yourself?
Well, I do play some music. I play the keyboard and some other things. And I've dabbled in art, but I don't have an affinity for it. And I play agility with my little mini Australian shepherds, and we go to trials and play together, and that keeps me going too.
That is so much fun.
I know.
Judith, why is
Did you do it?
Why is creative expression important for our health and for our longevity?
Oh, because the action of creating is happiness.
The action of creating is happiness.
Is happiness. When you are engaged in something that lures you and you're in the process, you're in the present, and that's the way to happiness.
Yeah, I agree. That is the way to happiness.
Are you recording me?
I am, yes.
La-di-da.
La-di-da. Thank you so much. Yeah.
It is my pleasure, Hamid.
I would. I definitely would.
Vince, why is creative expression important to health and vitality?
Ooh, I like this question. Well, I love the idea of having like an art, some sort of art that you can express yourself, like what's in here, in a way that you can't express with only words. And for me, that is like the ability to move my body, movement arts. So having having a movement art such as what I do, which is I spin these things. These things are called poi, and I've been combining this with the art practice of theater. So I've been like combining my motion practice with like the speaking practice. So now I'm able to combine these things that help me to express what I could never with only one.
How does creativity keep you healthy?
Oh, okay. Creativity keeps me healthy because I am always moving. It's something that I love to do, and there's a word sprezzatura that means to make something hard look easy. And if it's something that you love, it's easy to do to love. And if you're doing something that's hard, and then you love to do it, just makes it so much easier to do. And so like it makes me get up off the couch every day because I have to I have to express myself. I have to. Otherwise, like I feel like, you know, I don't like that.
Yeah. Thank you for expressing yourself.
Absolutely.
Thanks for being part of First Friday events. Wilda, why is creative expression important to our health and longevity?
Oh, I think creative expression is our one way to communicate with each other in a variety of ways. I mean, you know, some people paint, some people do photographs, some people do 3D, they build ships in a bottle, I mean, you know, whatever. And so they're sharing a part of themselves when they do that. I know for every painting that I paint, it's in a way, I'm painting them because there's something about it that strikes me as being a little bit of me, and so I share that with everybody, and I think that's really important. It's how we get to know each other. It's how humanity continues. and it's how we understand each other and can be kinder to each other in the future.
Like, how do you love to creatively express?
Well, I think I do it in a variety of ways. I believe myself to be a good public speaker, and so I've been asked many times to, like do an opening at a groundbreaking or at a ribbon cutting or something like that, and share my thoughts. I do painting, so I do acrylic painting, and that's could be a variety of topics. But I like to do landscapes, and mostly I like to do Montana landscapes or Mount Hood. So those are the two things that sort of call me in life, is Montana, because it's really an amazing state. I lived there for 10 years, and it still calls to me. And Mount Hood, because there's nothing more impressive and more long-standing and more solid than Mount Hood. And to me, that's what I want to be able to exemplify. Welcome.
I'm sure glad you're a creative person in our town.
Well, I keep trying to be. I would not say that I am amongst the most or even the creative. I just like the idea of being able to share with this guy, Chris Haberman.
There he is. Chris, wave for the camera.
Woohoo!
Hi! James, how is creativity and creative expression important to our health and to our longevity?
Somewhere in my DNA, there's this little bug that likes to figure things out. And I grew up on a farm with a father who had lived through the Depression and figured out how to do a lot of things without much resources. And so it's just kind of an automatic thing with me. If I see a little problem, the excitement is to tackle it and see what I could do about it. So it's just kind of innate.
And so you do these wonderful baskets here. Like what sort of when you see like grasses or reeds, like what problem do you see that can be fixed?
Well, it's kind of not problem, it's opportunity. Every time I see a fiber that I'm not already familiar with, I see if I can get some of it surreptitiously sometime and try it out. Try twisting it, see how it works, how easily it breaks, and if it can be made to stretch and to combine with other fibers. And so it's just a matter of the adventure of figuring out what I can do with anything. And of course the willow, the training I get is primarily from master teachers who are way ahead of me. Like this willow basket here, the teacher brought all the materials and the design, and by following the instructions, I can come up with a basket similar to this one. And that sort of thing then sets me up to go back home and look and see if I can use yucca and grass and all kinds of things.
That's great. That's great. Thank you for being a creative being.
Thank you.
Thank you for being a part of our show.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for the opportunity. It's impressed and appreciated hearing from you and what you're doing.
Thanks.
I'm glad to be in proximity.
Mark, how is creative expression important to our health and to our longevity?
Oh wow, great question. I think art is life. I think humans thrive through things like art, art in particular, but the making of beauty, the making of a better world is what humans thrive on. And so, if you don't have that in your life, you're not going to thrive. It's that simple. And so, as people can continue in their creative endeavors, whether that's making a beautiful thing or making a better world, that will keep them young and vibrant and healthy. And it's just human nature. And I've met people that have sort of stopped doing anything, stopped being engaged in the world, and they tend to be unhealthy pretty quickly and don't tend to last very long. So I think humans need a purpose, and there is no better purpose than art.
And it was actually wonderful.
Nicole, how is creative expression important to our health and to our longevity?
Well, my background actually is art therapy, so I've spent a lot of time thinking about that. A lot of years working with people facing mortality, facing illness, and I saw so much healing, if not, physical. I saw so much emotional, mental healing just through the art making, and so much making meaning of their experience and making sense of what's happening. So I think when we can do that, especially when we can't control what's going on in our lives, and we can make sense of it through our own expressions, I think it
John, how is creative expression important to our health and to our longevity?
Well, I think it's very important. I think for myself, there's a part of me that if I don't express myself artistically, I'm a musician, I just sort of feel wound up, feel pent up. And I think there's a part of me that sort of it deeply satisfies, a part of my brain that can only be satisfied by being creative.
Yeah, and well, it's the way the Native Americans made their fishnets.
Mariana, how is creative expression important to our health and to longevity?
Creative expression offers us a chance to fulfill some of our deepest desires, and through that fulfillment, I think we can come to better know ourselves. In my experience working with elders, that definitely aids to longevity and makes the time that you're in your body a lot more valuable.
So I've been going around asking this folks today. How is creative expression important to our health and to our longevity?
To our health, it's fundamental. I mean, I'm sure there's studies on it. I don't know necessarily how to articulate it, but it's part of the human experience, the interaction. By being given the opportunity to express ourselves, whether that's through art or whatever medium, we're being heard, which is important to our core, which I think when that is healthy, we are healthy.
Well, there's all kinds of studies about how using your creative brain helps with fighting against, it's like dementia, and again, luckily I can't cite the studies, but I hear a lot about people who talk about how dance actually is really good for keeping your brain active and moving and engaged, because it like the connection between the brain and the body and the way that all moves together is really helpful for brain, not development, but the longevity of the use of memory and brain functioning.
You guys are here with Chapel Theater.
We are here with Chapel Theater. Let me see what things I can show you. So Chapel Theater is a new performance venue on Harrison Street in Milwaukie, between 41st and 42nd on Harrison up by the Safeway. It's an old church that we remodeled into a theater. We opened in February. And we're here with the Rose City Shakespeare Company. If you can focus,
What Hampton homespuns have we swaggering?
So I have their flyer here. They're our next show at the theater. July 21st, 27th, and August 4th. And it's a Midsummer Night's Dream burlesque performance.
Right on.
Yeah.
Right on. I was bottom in Midsummer back in college.
Nice.
Kathryn, how is creative expression important to our health and our longevity?
So I think creative expression is a really important thing no matter what age you are. It's ageless. Making things is a part of who we are as being human beings, and I feel like if we neglect that it can actually lead to us being not as well as we could be. Creativity is a part of our wellness. It's one way that we can be heard and be seen, and when we aren't making, whether it's music, whether it's performing, whether it's visual art, whether it's writing, then we aren't, I feel like, at least from my experience, I don't feel complete. I also know as a visual artist that my experience has been that if I'm not making, I get grumpy. Like, I actually feel grumpy, and I feel badly for people who are around me when I haven't been making, because it's the daily ritual of creating is therapeutic in some way, and everything that I'm feeling and thinking can be expressed with a mark and with a color and with a shape, and that's one of the beautiful things I think about making, is that we're able to take something that's invisible within us and create a language for other people to see, and maybe that resonates with them. So I think it's good for the maker to be expressive, because you're getting things from the inside. You're translating things from the inside to the outside, and then it can be good for wellness for the viewer, because it can maybe make you think about something in a new light, the new perspective, that could help you in your daily experience. So I think it's good for everyone.
So can you explain what your role is at Roseville?
Sure. So I am what is my role? I am the Arts and Culture Program Coordinator. But really what I think that I do is I have an open ear, and I listen for the desires and the needs of the residents and the staff. So I like to emphasize the creative culture that already exists there and facilitate opportunities for their work and their ideas and their creative expressions to be seen and enjoyed by the Roseville community and also the surrounding communities. Our programming, we've developed classes. We have it's called the Creativity Lab. It's a creative publication that anybody can submit their work to. We have theatrical performances and outings and a visiting artist series and a new artist in residence program. And these are all things that are created because the residents want that. They want more opportunity to have meaningful engagement with the arts, and in doing so, we help strengthen our community.